Jake the Snake is saying, get rid of the football. Washington has time to get there. Step up on time, get rid of it, let it go. He holds it one more beat, pulls it down, and that's why Washington gets the sack.
I believe Jake Plummer had a famous sack fumble in one of the Territorial Cup games.
And you had to bring it up. You had to bring it up.
Hey, Kelly hung on to the football there. Inside give, Price. The junior cuts it back. Marion Price. Touchdown, Arizona. This is the nation's oldest rivalry game trophy, the Territorial Cup, back to 1899. That would be 10 years older than the Little Brown Jug between Michigan and Minnesota. That's what's on Arizona Stadium. 1st and 10 for the Cats. Matt Scott threw a pick on his last attempt. Sends this one long, and it is intercepted again. Irrigor with the first pick of the season. Back-to-back INTs from Matt Scott.
Well, he got pressured by Will Sutton, and he did the exact same thing.
Kelly slant, complete, inside the 5, fighting for a first down.
No need. Oh! They got it, barely.
By the nose of the pigskin. The first third down conversion tonight for Arizona State. Makes it 1st and goal.
Remember, we talked about the speed of the defense, but they're not that powerful inside. Does Arizona State go at them? I think that's what they ought to do. That's where they're more likely to have some success.
Coleman and fullback, give it to Grice, pushing for an Arizona State. New Mexico.
Yeah, and if you go to that app, what you'll see is that Brad Edwards projects the Pac-12 getting 2 representatives in the BCS, Oregon and Stanford, which would be more bowl spots for others.
Again, Arizona and Arizona State both bowl eligible. Arizona has 7 wins. Arizona State has 6. Just the second time in 19 years when these teams meet. They both have winning records going into the game.
He was right on the ground when the ball came out.
Kadeem Carey spinning away. The nation's leading rusher to the 40.
I'm with Michael James. He tweeted earlier, how can this guy not be getting more attention, more love when he's leading the country?
Bonanno's made 8 of his last 9 kicks after struggling early, including the opener against Toledo, where Arizona had to go to overtime to beat a good Toledo team. He missed the PAT. That's why the 6 is on the board for Arizona. This is a 32-yarder. Scott pumps, throws, caught, touchdown, Austin Hill. But which one? And how much does that Washington loss earlier today affect where these teams go in a bowl?
Rivalry game.
Scott on 3rd and 5. What a grab! For a touchdown by Garrett. This summer, won the starting quarterback job, has guided the Sun Devils to 6 wins. Arizona State now trailing by a touchdown. Fumble. Arizona recovers.
Did you see that? That was that fly sweep. And it was a mistimed snap. There's the tackle by Keelan Johnson. And before Scott goes down, Keelan Johnson strips the ball out. So he made the tackle and the strip.
Dozier in to replace Flowers. 2nd and 2. Price in the end zone again. 3rd rushing touchdown. All 3 of the touchdowns for Bryce in Arizona State on the turnovers by Matt Scott and the Wildcats. Now a 3 and out by Arizona State. Dugancic's punt is blocked. It will be 1st and goal, Arizona State. Arizona State from down 10 to leading by a touchdown in the 4th.
Carter, this entire fourth quarter, we have seen the run defense just be a real problem. Watch what happens to these linebackers as they try and deal. This has been the issue the entire fourth quarter. Stop it right there. Look at this pressure. Look at that. They're all eaten up. They can't get off the blocks. A huge hole. That's all right here. Touchdown from behind the top.
Again? That's where USC was. I mean, have all the bands been there? Look at that. What's up with Arizona's seating arrangements?
Scott slant, incomplete, intercepted off the hands of Hill. It's another pick for Arizona State and Robert Nelson. Still rolling all the way around. 23 unanswered in the fourth by the Sun Devils.
Boom to the hay, all you sports fans out there in the Tubosphere. Welcome to the One Man Sports Rant. Gen 2.0. I am your host, Will, the alternative ESPN, and every other network that we cover, Sports Thrill, specializing in college football and basketball and all of the other sporting events in their singular nature, such as they may occur. Why such an emphasis on the college sports? I was a linebacker and off guard at the collegiate level, however short-lived, blew up both my ankles, never was able to realize my sports prowess, walked on in both events, but I was a non-traditional student, so I sort of screwed up high school, got my act together, got my butt back into college, and so I had to go that route. And I still suffer from those ankles. But the point is, I did not utilize my, stay in school, by the way, high school-wise, sports abilities to the best of their abilities, because street ball wise, you know, I got a reputation still back where I was playing. So I'm not a spring chicken, but I'm not you know, going through a midlife crisis either. It's the best of both, the maturity with still the physical ability and speed to understand it all, I guess. Alright, so you heard from Accept, the original balls to the wall. It's going to be able to lead into for the rest of college football. By the way, this is the shorty version. This is the post-review show. As introduced by our Pi Kappa Alpha House Sweethearts, U of U chapter, Alpha Tau, giving you props. Alright, so what do I mean by all this? You know, if you saw on the timestamp this video being 10 to 11 minutes thereabouts, this is the post-review show, which is what I mean by those graphics that I included. Much like when you go to a live theater stage show and it's kind of sucking, people with class, you don't walk out on it until intermission. So I understand if I'm talking to only 2 or 5 people, because this show may not be your cup of tea, but it is the post-review. You already saw all the clips, you know, to the sporting event that we were discussing about, and I'm not going to get into it more specifically, because again, this is the baseline show, and I'll get into the legalities as to why that is in a moment. I did used to run a law firm, so to those of you still listening, stick around because you'll learn something about the particulars of YouTube. But for the shows, you know, 15 minutes or longer, it's a totally different intro than what I'm doing right now. All right. So why bother doing a show, you may ask? Because the ship has sailed, in the sense of just trying to piggyback on somebody else's network and going beyond the 5 to 7 minute mark and just trying to put that up as not necessarily your own, but obviously from somebody else. You try to give them credit on YouTube. I'm sure you may have seen this several times, your longer clips, say like beyond the 4 minute mark, where all they're showing is like the channel immediately. No. That does not cover the legalities of it. What are the legalities I'm discussing? a little thing called the DCMA, the Digital Copyright Millennium Act. And the key tenets that we adhere to on the OMSR are, as they were hashed out through WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization. Fair use standard, minimal use, derivatives, and no money exchange in hands. Of course, that last one's a given, but it's also important. But it's a given here because, as you can see, the OMSR is a pro bono production. We adhere strictly to that. And on that note, as well, all images you see on the OMSR, not procured or produced, 2-minute warning, so I won't go over on time, by the OMSR, were obtained through the public domain. So anybody out there saying, hey, Will, you're kind of using an image that we don't necessarily approve of, fine. Watch my dust, I'll take it down, excuse me, readjust it. The only sucky thing about that is you'll lose all the hits when you go to re-upload the same thing, plus the interest wanes on that particular event. But that's not important, as opposed to what I just said. Alright, and on that note, this show is copyright to the OMSR. Brief video highlights, courtesy to the networks already discussed through Will, the Alternative Sports Pro. The OMSR does not own these video highlights, but does own all the other original content and the overall concept herein, thereof, therefore, most rights reserved. Alright, so on that note, the 2-minute warning, we go back to our musical lead into Accept. The original, to the nth degree, balls to the wall. Perfect theme music for closing out college football. You got to play balls to the wall to get a winning record, to get to a better bowl, or BCS consideration. Alright, so pay attention to the end graphic at the end of the show. VAC chart from the state of California DMV. They will throw the book at you. Worst state in the union, or best, toughest, whatever you want to call it. You get a DUI. You can pause it, freeze frame it, X amount of drinks, your body type, no X amount of activity. Alright, thanks for watching. Later days, and only a few more college football plays.